Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys, I hope that all of you are doing well. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, and the topic of today's video is going to be affordable fragrances that smell luxurious. There will be a total of 10 fragrances that I've included in today's list, and the first two come from the same brand, which is called Arabiyat Prestige. Now I keep saying this, but the brand of Arabiyat Prestige keeps impressing me when it comes to the performance and the quality of their scents, and I really think that this brand is very underrated. The first fragrance from them that I've included today is called Lutfah, the Seventh Heaven, and this one is heavily inspired by Imperial Valley from Giza. And I have a few clones of Imperial Valley in my collection, and this is probably the sweetest one, although still the whole scent profile can come across a little bit challenging for some people because it has the note of agar oud, also has a strong note of leather, and that combination is not for everybody definitely, but this one has a lot of fruity sweetness, it has a lot of ambery sweetness, you get some spices, you also get a bit of citrusy freshness. I do think that this is one of the more wearable versions, clones when it comes to Imperial Valley clones. Performance is great, projection is great, the quality overall is great, and I've been really impressed with Lutfah, the Seventh Heaven. So this is the first fragrance that I've included in today's video. The second fragrance from that very same brand is called Aariz Intense, and this is a clone of Kilian's Angel Share, and I do believe that this is one of the very best clones of Angel Share that you can get. I personally will put it into the top 3 clones of Angel Share that I own and that I've tried. Smells very similar to Angel Share itself, maybe has a slightly less pronounced boozy note, less pronounced cognac note in the opening. Maybe feels a little bit sweeter and slightly more spicy in the opening, but on the dry down comes very close. It's this very sexy, very unisex mix of the strong cognac note. You get a lot of sweetness, vanillic sweetness, ambery sweetness, some dates, you get some ouds, a bit of spiciness, you know, some cinnamon, stuff like that. This smells really nice, smells really luxurious. Performance is fantastic, projection is fantastic, and the whole quality is absolutely fantastic. Both of them also come equipped with a pressurized sprayer, so what more you can ask from a clone of Angel Share. So the second, affordable fragrance that smells luxurious that I've included in today's video is called Aariz Intense. The next two fragrances that I've included in today's video both come from the brand of Paris Corner, and the first one is part of the North Stack Expressions line, and it's called Quatre or 4. This one is a clone of Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim. The opening doesn't feel super similar to the original fragrance. Where this gets very close is on the dry down. The opening, this feels a little bit more citrusy compared to the original fragrance, also feels a little bit sweeter to my nose. I get this very pleasant opening that has this mix of a bergamot note. You also get some orange and some mandarin notes in the opening of this one, but those orange and mandarin notes both feel fresh and at the same time feel quite sweet. Maybe there's a hint of amber sweetness as well. It's a very pleasant, very uplifting, very refreshing opening. I absolutely love the opening of this fragrance. On the dry down it becomes maybe a hint oudy, also becomes a bit musky, just like the original scent, and gets close to that. It really smells very nice, very luxurious. Performance isn't fantastic as you would expect from something with this kind of a fresh scent profile, but still I've been getting easily about 6 hours out of it, and I can forgive the not so stellar performance because this fragrance smells really nice, really luxurious, and I absolutely love it. And the second Paris Corner fragrance that I've included in today's video is called December Vanilla. This one is cloning Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli from Kayali. I think that's the full name of the original fragrance. Basically, this smells like a boozy vanilla-based scent, and especially the opening, again, just like North Stack Quatre. I really like the opening of this fragrance. It's slightly green, slightly spicy, but also feels very boozy and feels very sweet thanks to that vanilla note. It's a very interesting combination. The dry down becomes a little bit more gourmand because there's something like a caramel note on the dry down of this fragrance. It becomes more woody. There's some agar oud in here, although it's very wearable, not skanky or animalic at all. and also again becomes quite sweet because there's some ambery sweetness kicking in on the dry down. All around a very sort of an unisex fragrance in my opinion. Even some people may find it leaning a little bit to the feminine side because of the amount of sweetness that it has, but I also think that because it's down to the booziness and the agar oud note, this is perfectly unisex. Performance is very decent. It's not spectacular by any means, but still will give you, at least it has been giving me about 7 to 8 hours with nice projection, and this is a great cold weather scent. The next one featured today comes from the brand of French Avenue and Fragrance World, and it's called The Shadow Extrait de Parfum, supposedly. And this fragrance is a clone of Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomade. And in my opinion, from what I've tried, this is one of the two very best clones of Ombre Nomade that at least I've had my nose onto. Smells very similar to the original fragrance. It's this very Middle Eastern scent profile that relies on a heavy leather note, very heavy agar oud note, a lot of rose, a hint of raspberry, ambery sweetness, some incense as well. Smells a little bit old school, smells very luxurious, smells very Middle Eastern, and I really like it. I like the original scent, and I really like the Shadow from Fragrance World. Performance is great, projection is great, quality is really nice. The only problem with this fragrance is that it's a little bit more expensive and you're only getting 60 milliliters of juice when you buy the Shadow, but apart from that, I really think that this is one of the best clones of Ombre Nomade that you can get. The next one comes from the brand of Haramain, and it's called Junoon Oud. Now this fragrance is very heavily inspired by two original scents. On one hand you have Bulgari's Tiger, and then on the other hand you have Vibrato from Suspiro. The original scents are quite close to each other, and this smells like somewhere in between those two, maybe leaning a little bit to the Vibrato side. It's fresh and citrusy in the opening. There's some grapefruit note in here, juicy grapefruit note. You also get some citrusy freshness, you get some ambery sweetness, you get some spices, you get quite a lot of ouds. On the dry down you also get some musk. It's a very masculine scent that super versatile, works just all year round for any type of occasion, day and night, doesn't matter. Has really nice quality, just like you would expect from something from Haramain, especially something a little bit more expensive from Haramain. Has a very good performance and projection, and this is again a very masculine scent. I absolutely love that original DNA, and Junoon Oud is one of the best clones of both original scents that you can get. Again, just like with the Shadow, it's a little bit more expensive. You only get 75 milliliters of juice, but I think it's worth it because the quality is superb and also has fantastic performance. And the second Haramain fragrance that I've included in today's video is actually sold under the sub-brand of Orientica, and it's called Xclusif Oud Bleu, and this is probably one of the very best clones of Parfum de Marlis Layton that you can get, and probably the best performing clone of Layton that you can get. Smells very similar to the original fragrance, maybe a hint more spicy in the opening, but other than that, smelling super close to Layton itself, and in the air it's pretty much identical to Layton. The quality is pretty much on par with Layton, the performance is better than Layton. This is a very beastly performing scent, easily outlasts Layton, especially when it comes to longevity, but also when it comes to projection. It comes really nicely packaged to get a luxurious box, very high quality bottle, filling bottle. And again, just like with the previous two, the only problem about Orientica's Xclusif Oud Bleu is the fact that you get 60 milliliters of juice, and it's quite expensive. Usually this costs somewhere between 60 to 70 euros. But again, at least you get super high quality in return, and you get beastly performance. My next suggestion comes from the brand of Afnan, and it's part of the Supremacy line, and it's called Supremacy In Oud. This one is a clone of Initio's Oud for Greatness. Now, just like some of the previous fragrances that I showed you, this doesn't feel like a straight up clone, this feels more like a twist. I'm not a huge fan of the original scent because it's too spicy and too oudy, sort of too dry for my taste, but Afnan with their twist have sort of addressed some of the problems that I find with the original fragrance. This feels a little bit less spicy, it feels a little bit less woody than the original fragrance, and this also feels quite a bit more sweet compared to the original one from Initio, and that makes it a lot more wearable than the original one. Quality is superb. Again, Afnan is one of those fragrances from the Middle East that often delivers when it comes to quality itself. Performance is also great, maybe not on par with the original, but getting pretty close. Nice projection. It's again a little bit more expensive, but in this case you're at least getting 100 milliliters bottle size, and also get a very nice presentation, and I think it's worth it. For me, this is my most favorite clone of Oud for Greatness. And the last two suggestions in today's video both will come from the brand of Lattafa, and they're some of their recent releases. The first one is called His Confession. Now apparently this is a clone of Black Tie from Celine. I've never tried the original scent, so I cannot tell you how close it is to the original one, but I can tell you that this definitely smells somewhat similar to Givenchy Gentleman EDP. And that original fragrance is one of my most favorite fragrances that contain the note of Aariz. And His Confession in a way smells similar to that one from from Givenchy. It feels a little bit less powdery compared to the Givenchy one, maybe a little bit less sweet. The Givenchy Gentleman EDP has quite a bit of vanillic sweetness. This also feels a bit vanillic and sweet on the dry down, but again lacks that sweetness from the original one. This has some aromatic lavender note. It has again a bit of Aariz powderness. You get some vanilla and tonka bean sweetness on the dry down, maybe some oudiness, a hint of leather. At least my nose picks up also a hint of leather in this one, a hint of incense. It smells very gentlemanly, very sophisticated, very sort of luxurious, and in my opinion this is a kind of a dressed up type of scent that's great for cold weather. Performance. Now, if you look up this fragrance on Fragrantica, you'll see that most people actually report this one to have more of a performance on the moderate side. To be honest, my experience has been a little bit different. I've been getting quite a good performance when it comes to longevity on skin. This has easily lasted 8 hours on my skin, but where this lacks is the projection. It's more an intimate type of scent. So at least performance-wise, you should expect good longevity on skin, but don't expect a huge projection out of this one. And the second Lattafa fragrance that I've included in today's video is one of their brand new releases. It's called Teriaq Intense, and this one is a flanker to the original Teriaq. It's made by Quentin Biche, just like the original Teriaq, but this scent-wise has pretty much nothing in common with the OG fragrance. The original one is a very sweet, very feminine-leaning scent, whereas Teriaq Intense actually feels perfectly unisex to my nose. And it smells really, really nice. Now, in a way, this is similar to something like Kilian's Angel Share. It's part of the family of scents in my opinion, but this is not a clone of Angel Share, and it doesn't smell very, very similar to Angel Share. It opens up with a nice amount of spiciness. There's a nice amount of cinnamon and saffron spiciness in this fragrance. You also get quite a bit of a boozy note with this one. It has a plum liquor note. It also has the plum note on its own as well. You get some vanillic and ambery sweetness in the opening. It feels very nice, slightly boozy, very sweet, very sort of a cozy fragrance that smells of really nice quality. On the dry down it becomes a little bit earthy to my nose. Maybe there's something like a patchouli note. It becomes a little bit powdery because there's some tonka bean. The ambery sweetness is ramped up on the dry down. All around this smells really, really nice, really luxurious, having really good quality. And performance wise I'm still testing it out, but so far, again, just like with His Confession, on skin this tends to last for a very long time. In fact, I've been getting 9 to 10 hours of longevity on skin. Again, it's a little bit more moderate when it comes to projection, but the total longevity is great and it smells really nice and luxurious. And so guys, in today's video I showed you 10 affordable fragrances that smell luxurious. I hope that you found this video interesting to watch. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.